Wednesday, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden, your friendly neighborhood naturopath. Here we are yet again. Another live broadcast of Fire Your MD Now, and I am as serious as a heart attack, no pun intended when I say that. The single best thing that anybody can do to optimize their health is just stop going to see the MDs. Why on earth would you continue to frequent a medical profession that, for the last 100 years, has become the leading cause of death in the United States and has completely dropped the ball with all chronic disease? While we have given the MDs undisputed reign over the kingdom of medicine, high blood pressure skyrocketing, type 2 diabetes skyrocketing, arthritis skyrocketing, autism skyrocketing, Alzheimer's skyrocketing, infertility skyrocketing, obesity skyrocketing. Look around, everybody's sick. Our life expectancy while the MDs are driving the bus is dropping. It's dropping. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's go back to those people. Let's continue to give them our money. This is what happens when an aspect of an industry monopolizes that industry. The MDs have been in the driver's seat for such a long time now that we have become mesmerized, hypnotized, brainwashed, socialized into believing that MDs equal medicine, that MDs know everything about medical science, and everybody else is a back-of-the-bus quack. We think that the MDs are in the driver's seat because their therapeutics must be better, they must be safer, they must be more effective, and guess what? They're not. The reason that they're in the driver's seat is because they have legislated themselves there. Like the Nazis, they have put themselves in power. And they keep themselves there with egregious legislation, unbelievably corrupt legislation that keeps all other medical professions out of the arena. I'm a licensed naturopathic physician. I did 8 years of medical school, 1,000 hours of clinical supervision. I'm licensed to practice medicine. I can call myself a physician, prescribe drugs, perform minor surgery, deliver babies. And it's all paid for by insurance. In 16 states in the United States only. That means 36 states deem what I do dangerous and against the law. Well, they don't actually deem that, but the MDs have put legislation in place to make me have to fight for my right to practice medicine. It's like fighting for your right to breathe. You've got to give me a break. You know, we have to fight back, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, World War II was funded by the pharmaceutical industry. For goodness sake, they have more money than God. There's no way we can outwit them legislatively. There's no way we can outspend them politically. There's no way. We just can't do it. They have way too much money. So what do we do instead? Well, it's a free country, more or less. It's a free country, more or less. It's a free world, more or less, if you're industrialized nations. Here's what you do. Stop using them. Just don't go to them anymore. Stop giving them your money. Stop giving them your respect. Stop giving them your time. Turn a blind eye to what they do. Draw a line in the sand this far and no further. We recommend you fire your MD now. Educate yourself about the wonders of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Stop eating the 10 bad foods that are going to kill you. Take your longevity nutritional supplements appropriate for your body weight. Live long and prosper. It's that easy. Healing is easy. Surgery is complicated. Healing is easy. Surgery is complicated. You've heard the testimonials on this show. If you come to one of my lectures, if you come to one of Dr. Wallach's free lectures, if you come to one of the webinars, you'll see testimonials that will make you cry. When you give the body the raw materials that it needs to fix itself, guess what it does? It fixes itself. This is the deal, ladies and gentlemen. This is the undiscovered country. This is the best kept secret in medicine. The wonders of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. You know that guy, what's his name, the Jinsu knife guy, wrote a book a couple of years ago, the 10 things the pharmaceutical, the drug companies don't want you to know. Well, most of that book was BS because he's a salesman. He's not a doctor. but it struck a chord and sold millions of copies. Why? Because everybody knows in the back of their minds, quite frankly, now it's in the front of their minds, that the pharmaceutical companies are full of crap. They know, people are starting to wake up to the fact that drugs and surgery are not the only way. And if I see one more Abilify commercial or Lunesta commercial at night while I'm trying to relax, watching the football game or the hockey game, or the next episode of The Good Wife, which I'm addicted to, by the way, I'm gonna throw up. You know, it's all drugs all the time, but we're getting a clue. We're slowly starting to snap out of it. Now, if you had a toothache, you would not go on the internet and try to figure out how to fix that yourself, right? You'd ask around and go to a dentist. You'd ask your friends who's the best dentist in town. You'd get some feedback. Maybe you'd go to Angie's List, whatever, and you'd go to a dentist and get it fixed. You wouldn't try to fix that yourself, but, you know, when we get frustrated with conventional medicine, which is very easy to do, and most people are, most people go on the internet to try to figure out how to fix their high blood pressure themselves, how to fix their type 2 diabetes themselves, how to fix their arthritis themselves. And the internet is loaded with cockamamie health schemes, loaded with it. For goodness sake, rather than try to figure it out yourself, wouldn't it make more sense to go to the medical professional that's been trained in it? This is why we do what we do. The problem that exists here in the United States is that there's less than 4,000 licensed naturopathic physicians. There's not a lot. And the naturopathic medical profession is the medical profession that is trained from day one in the holistic use of science-based, clinically verified therapeutics, alternative to drugs and surgery, the intention of which is to support and promote your body's ability to fix itself. We are the go-to medical professionals for all things having to do with non-drug healing therapeutics. We're even trained in drugs. How about that? You get 2 for 1. So rather than try to figure it out yourself, just go to the naturopath. But the problem we have here, it is less than 4,000 naturopaths in the entire world. Of those 4,000, there's less than 200 that have more than 30 years, 20 years of clinical experience. Yeah, less than 200. There's 350 million suffering Americans in this country, 200 naturopaths that can rise to the challenge. That's just not enough. This is why Dr. Wallach, in his wisdom, set his company, Longevity, up as a networked business. Because healing is easy. And what we are doing is we are growing, generating and growing a grassroots coalition of the informed. We are teaching thousands of people how to be their own doctor. We are teaching thousands of people the simple methods of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition health recovery. Remember, folks, healing is easy. You don't have to tell your body how to digest a banana. It does it all by itself. You don't have to tell your body how to fix a cut. It does it all by itself. You don't have to tell your body, when to wake you up. It does it all by itself. You don't have to tell your body was so smart it grew itself, all by itself, from a single-celled organism into you. Holy smokes. Now, if it could do that, I'm betting it probably also knows how to fix itself, and this is what we teach. This is what we preach. This is what we experience every day. The human body has a God-given ability to fix itself. The human body knows how to fix itself. The human body wants to fix itself. And most of the time, the only thing necessary for the body to fix itself is it needs the raw materials to fix itself, which, regretfully, you can't get from eating food. You just can't do it. You have to supplement. If you're not actively supplementing with vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and essential fatty acids, it is only a matter of time until something breaks. For goodness sake, it's no different with your car. Your car runs out of oil, the engine seizes. The car runs out of gas, the engine stops. The car runs out of transmission fluid, you can't shift the gears. The car runs out of power steering fluid, you can't turn the wheel. Well, it's the same with your body. You run out of calcium, you get high blood pressure. You run out of vanadium, you get type 2 diabetes. You run out of vitamin B1, you get congestive heart failure. You run out of selenium, you get an enlarged heart, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy. This is how it goes. So we are growing a grassroots network of the informed. It is our intention and our duty, quite frankly, to teach you the simple methods of health recovery so that you're so healthy you can stop all of your prescription medicines safely and effectively. And the only time that you'll need to frequent the MD's office is, heaven forbid, you're in some type of automobile accident or suffer a trauma. You know, you drop a rock on your foot, break a leg, spill some bacon grease on your arm, get a third-degree burn, whatever. The MDs will fix that. That's what they're good for. For everything else, they stink. So join us. We'll teach you how to recover your health. And by the way, no consultation fees, no insurance co-pays. We'll teach you for free. That's a good price. Is that a good price? That's a good price, don't you think? Any other medical doctor in this country going to teach you anything for free? I don't think so. This is what we do, ladies and gentlemen. And not only will we teach you how to recover your health, if you're up for it, if you need it, if you're a candidate, we will also teach you how to recover your wealth. Because everybody has a vitamin M deficiency. Everybody. And by everybody, I mean everybody. Well, you know, unless you're in the 1%. Everybody needs more money. So how are we going to do that? Well, you're going to join Youngevity. You're going to become a member of Youngevity. And as a member of Youngevity, when you show people in your life Dr. Wallach's healing methods, and they purchase the Youngevity nutritional supplements, and they recover their health, not only are they eternally grateful to you, but every time they purchase a supplement, you get paid. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. We're changing everything here as we roll headlong into 2013. 866-582-9933 is the toll-free number to talk to me live during the show, Monday through Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. Central Time. And if you're listening to the podcast, that number, 855-347-3696, 855-347-3696. The website, of course, fireyourmdnow.com. And if for some reason, if you're taking too many statin drugs, you're on fat-free diets and exercising your butt off and you just can't remember a darn thing, you can remember Glidden, my last name Glidden, like the paint, right? No relation, Dr. Glidden. Just do a Google search for Dr. Glidden. I always pop up #1. All right, we're going right to the phones now. Tammy is calling in with a question about a biofeedback test, I think. Welcome aboard, Tammy.
Hi. Yeah, I had a biofeedback test, and I'm a distributor for Youngevity, and so obviously I take the supplements. But it came out low in a few of them, and I was wondering if I should take more tangy tangerine or what should I do? I was low in calcium, potassium, chlorine, magnesium, chromium, selenium, and iodine.
All right. So the question is, you know, given the fact that so tell me what you're taking. Are you taking the Healthy Start Pack?
Yes. Well, not the Osteo Effects, because it's strong for me.
Okay.
But I'm going to stick to the Cal Toddy.
All right, very good. Okay, yeah. So here's the basic understanding, Tammy, and this is an interesting thing to talk about, right? One of the beauties of Dr. Wallach's approach is that it is quintessentially holistic. So rather than needing to micromanage different vitamin amounts in our body with, biofeedback or expensive blood testing or urinalysis or hair analysis, by and large, most of the time, there are exceptions to every rule, but most of the time, what we do, and all that's necessary, is you give your body the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for body weight. Stop eating the 10 bad foods, and when you stop eating the 10 bad foods, you increase your body's ability to absorb the nutrients, and you cut way down on the inflammation that's going on in the body. And most of the time, that's it, you know. So your vitamin and nutrient needs will change day to day based on the stress of life, the season of the year, what you had to eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, how much you're perspiring. Too many variables to predict. So rather than try to, get nervous and figure it all out in a micromanagerial style, what do? We just lean on Dr. Wallach. So the recommendation in order to, optimize everything is 1 Healthy Start Pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. So basically, here's the best way to kind of calculate the dosage. With the Beyond Tangy Tangerine Red Powder, it's 1 level scoop per 50 pounds of body weight per month. So if you're 150 pounds, you need 3 level scoops. Well, how are you going to get that? Well, you're going to need 1.5 Healthy Start Packs a month. Well, how do you do that? Well, you buy 2 in October and 1 in November, right? And you dose it appropriately. It's 1 ounce of the liquid calcium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, or another way to look at that is 1 tablespoon per 50 pounds of body weight per month, and 3 essential fatty acid capsules per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 1 bottle of Ultimate Selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, not to exceed 4 bottles a month. So if you dial in those dosages appropriate for your body weight, eliminate the 10 bad foods. What I would recommend is you do that for 60 days, 2 months, and then do the biofeedback test after you've been filling your body's nutritional tank up every day. And I guaranteed the biofeedback at the end of the 60-day replenishment period is going to be just golden. And after you've been on the program for 60 days diligently, doing your very best to fill your nutritional tank every day, doing your very best to not eat the 10 bad foods every day, if there are nutrient deficiencies, what I'm trying to say is when you nutrify your body diligently for a couple of months, it's much easier to see where the trouble really is, if there's any trouble left over. It burns away the fog, and you can see, oh yeah, I need more vitamin B, or oh yeah, I need more minerals, right? But in the first few months, it's hard to see that because there's just too much confusion because you've been under-nutrified for so very long. So give that a try for 2 months, then do the biofeedback. You're going to love the results. Later we go boldly into the future, one step at a time, holding each other's hands, propping each other up. We need to hang together, folks. Your medical doctor does not have your back. Your medical doctor only knows drugs and surgery, and drugs and surgery are the leading cause of death in the United States, and drugs and surgery can't fix chronic disease. They can manage chronic disease, but they can't fix it. So stop giving these people your money, stop giving them your faith, stop giving them your respect, and stop giving them your trust. You don't have to look down your nose at them, but don't put them on a pedestal anymore because they simply don't deserve to be there. It's really that simple. Back in the day, right, in slavery, everybody thought, oh, blacks are inferior and they're just animals, and it's nonsense. Well, the reverse is true. We've put MDs up on a pedestal. I don't know why we put MDs up on a pedestal. I think it was TV shows like MASH and Marcus Welby, quite frankly. I think it's been an on-purpose socialization and culturization. I think that that's what it is. But, they're just people like you. Ultimately, they have skin and bones, and just like you do. And there's nothing special about the MD. There's no reason to put them on a pedestal. So stop doing it. Treat them as you would, your garbage collector. Treat them as you would your postal worker. Treat them as you would your next door neighbor. Right? They're just people. You don't have to look down on them. You don't have to look up at them. Just look sideways at them. And for goodness sake, I hope you're looking at them mostly through your rearview mirror as you are driving as quickly as you can away from their office. All right, back to the phones. Jim, is calling with a question about low platelets. Jim, welcome aboard. You are live.
Hey, Doc. First off, again, I want to thank you for your book, The MD Emperor Has No Clothes.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, man. Yeah.
And I recommend everybody that hasn't got it get it. Okay, I've got a client who has multiple myeloma.
Yeah. Ouch.
And he's had a bone marrow transplant. Yeah. And is working or using the budded diet. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not. Basically, it's
yep, I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Okay. And I worked up a protocol for him using. He's a little over 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. 2 anti-aging healthy start packs, 4 ultimate selenium, 2 32-ounce C radicals, and the True Blue resveratrol blend from Lavinity. And he told me today that he hasn't started on this yet. He was concerned because he recently had a platelet count and he's low, and was wondering if there's anything that either in the protocol I've already set up or anything else we can add to it that would help boost his platelet levels.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good question. You know, and just let this be a cautionary tale to you, Jim, because whenever anybody shows up in your life with cancer, it should make you double down on your discipline with your diet and your nutritional supplements, because as God is my witness, it's 1,000 times easier to prevent cancer than it is to fix it once it's there. So, you know, double down on your supplements, okay? Make sure you have it dialed in. All right, good. Now, platelets are curious little corpuscles in the blood. They don't have any DNA. That's interesting. They don't have any genetic material. They last about 5 to 9 days. They do a lot of things in the body. One of their main things that they do is they help the blood clot or not clot. They're also responsible for the regeneration of cartilage. That's very interesting, isn't it? Now, platelets are made in the bone marrow. So guess what? Anybody who has multiple myeloma has a bone marrow problem, and even if they don't have multiple myeloma, if somebody has low platelets, not enough platelets, it's because something is going on with the bone marrow. Now, the bone marrow is the very center of your long bones. So if you took your arm and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy came to your house and chainsawed your arm and right in half, heaven forbid, you'd look at the bone and you'd see all the white bone, and then in the middle there's like a red bullseye, and that's the marrow. The marrow is in the middle of your long bones, and it's the marrow's job to make blood cells. Platelets are made in the blood marrow. So when you don't have enough platelets, it's because the bone marrow is funky. Well, why is the bone marrow funky? Because your bone marrow and your bones have lost the nutrients that they need to stay healthy. So when you run out of minerals and sulfur-bearing molecules that the bones need and the bone marrow need to stay healthy, the body starts to infiltrate the bone marrow cavity with connective tissue instead of bone marrow, because it doesn't have the raw materials necessary to make bone marrow. It's got to make something. It's got to put something in there. It can't just have a hollow space in there because the bone will collapse. So to ensure structural integrity, the body puts connective tissue where there should be bone marrow, and so this means now you don't have enough bone marrow. So if you don't have enough bone marrow, you can't make enough platelets. Really, it's that simple. So what we do when we have people who don't have enough platelets, we treat it as if it's arthritis. And so the only other thing necessary, so what we do, right, we don't treat arthritis, right, we approach it as if it were arthritis. So we deliver a therapeutic that supports and promotes the health of the bones and joints, okay? So to support and promote the health of the bones and joints, the only thing additional this guy would need would be the glucogel. So he needs to take the glucogel. If he's 200 pounds, give him 21 glucogel a day, because that's easy. 7 with breakfast, 7 with lunch, 7 with dinner. 21 glucogel a day is the only other thing that I would add to his program. And if he can afford it, I would take up to 10 bottles of Z-Radical a day. Up to 10 bottles of Z-Radical a day, okay? That's the only other thing I would increase. And if he's not, in addition to the diet that he's doing now, he also needs to eliminate the 10 bad foods on our list, especially wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Especially wheat, barley, rye, and oats. One more time. Especially wheat, barley, rye, and oats. So you want to marry those two dietary disciplines together. Have him please eliminate the 10 bad foods in addition to what he's doing already. And there's no harm and no foul. You know, people are just really have it all backwards, and they think, oh, I have low platelets. Are these vitamins going to hurt me? No, you knucklehead, they're going to help you. You have low platelets because your body's out of this stuff. You need it. You don't have low platelets because, you know, you have a drug deficiency, right? You have these problems because you've got the wrong damn doctor. It's that simple. Good for you, Jim, for taking a step, helping your friends and family and community members to see the light. As it turns out, buddy, you are the last best hope that your community has to live long, healthy, wealthy lives. So good on you for taking a step on behalf of your community. I'm proud of you. All right, Susan's up next, I think, with a question about hair analysis. Welcome aboard, Susan. It's your turn with Dr. Glidden.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I called you, I think, about 6 months ago. I was diagnosed with severe osteoporosis at age 32 and hadn't seen any improvement in 6 years. I'm 39 years old now. And I had been taking the Healthy Start Pack for a year when I had my last bone scan, which didn't show any improvement, but you said at least it wasn't any worse. And you added in the selenium and the glucogel to the Healthy Start Pack.
I'm on the edge of my seat. What happened?
Well, I haven't had another bone scan yet. I was going to hold off a little longer because I don't want to be disappointed. I was going to maybe have one in June, and also I don't want all that radiation. But I got my hair analysis like a few months ago, and, well, this was before I started in with the selenium and glucogel. Yeah. And the hair analysis shows that I have like 2,000%. So they show calcium, potassium ratios, calcium phosphorus, calcium sodium, etc. My calcium sodium, it's like 5,300% what it should be. Calcium potassium, it's 2,100 times what it should be. Calcium phosphorus, it's 200 times what it should be. So this is very, I don't know. What does this mean?
It doesn't mean anything. It means it's a ridiculous test is what it means. All right. So, yeah, there are a lot of different ways to test for levels of nutrients in the body, and there are a lot of different laboratories that have different testing methodologies, right? For instance, we were testing food allergies when I was in medical school, and we tested, I think, 5 different laboratories, very big-name laboratories in the United States, and we sent them the same person's blood with 5 different names, right? Same blood, 5 different names. And so because it's the same blood, you would expect similar results, exactly the same results for, you know, everybody, right? For all of the samples. But there was only one lab that was able to do that. The other 4 labs gave us 5 different results, even though it was the same blood. So testing methodology is, you know, suspect, especially with alternative testing methodologies like hair analysis. Really, it depends entirely on, excuse me, a frog in my throat today. It depends entirely on the machines that the labs are using and, you know, the due diligence of the staff and whether they're trained properly. And there's too many variables to predict. But generally speaking, I used to use hair analysis quite a bit. I don't use it anymore because it doesn't give reliable results. And, you know, quite frankly, it is almost impossible to overdose with a vitamin and mineral. I mean, you can do it. That white liquid calcium that you're taking, in order to overdose on that and actually hurt yourself, you need to drink 30 bottles a day. 30 bottles a day. You could do that, maybe. Honestly, I don't even think you could do that. Because after the fourth or the fifth bottle, you'd be throwing up and you just wouldn't be right. I don't even think you could get close to that. So you don't need to worry about getting too much. What you need to worry about is getting enough to fix the problem, because, you know, even if we could all agree, and we can't, even if the scientific community could in fact come to a consensus and an agreement for what the recommended daily allowance of stuff is, and by the way, the RDAs are just nonsense. Pay no attention to the recommended daily amounts of vitamins. They're nonsense, they're archaic, they're out of date, and they're just foolish. I mean, I don't even know why they print them anymore. They're nonsense. But even if the scientific community could develop really good and valid RDA amounts for different people with different body weights, that's just to maintain your health. In order to recover your health, you're going to need more. Right? And this is what you need. So you need therapeutic dosages of these things. You need therapeutic dosages. So don't worry, you can't overdo it. But what you do need to be paying attention to, Susan, is how you feel. Because if this program is effective, you should be feeling better. Your mood, your energy, your sleep, your appetite, your sex drive, your digestive issues, whatever, things should be brightening up. And then have another DEXA scan, but you have to have it on the same machine that you used before. Don't go to a different hospital. Proof of the pudding is in the eating, and this is one of the overlooked fundamentals, I think, of the holistic method, that, you know, regardless of what the blood work says, regardless of what the hair analysis says, what we pay attention to first, second, and third is how you feel, your subjective experience. Oh, you know, my pain's better. Oh, you know, my sleep is better. Oh, you know, my digestion is better. Oh, you know, look, I can see that the eczema on the skin is better. It's getting better, right? So when there is subjective improvement, then there must be objective, you know, measurement stuff like blood values. And, you know, the DEXA scan will come around. If you are getting a DEXA scans, which is X-ray radiation, the recommendation is and if the only reason to get another one is if you have been diagnosed with osteoporosis and it's getting worse, right? Then, you know, you need to have a heads up on that, because we have to dial in a therapeutic that's producing results, because that can be a funky disease, and you just shouldn't be having bone density problems in your 30s, right? So if you're like Susan and this is a problem and you're going to go get another bone density scan, you compare how your therapeutic is doing. You have to get it on the same machine, because there's an error ratio, there's a percent error bias in every machine, you know, and they're all a little bit different. So if you get two different DEXA scans on two different machines, and the numbers are different, they could be different because of the built-in error of the machine. It's not a perfect science. So in order to cut down on the amount of misinformation available through a DEXA scan specifically, the recommendation is every time you go and get one, get it from a different machine. And by the way, if you take vitamin E like Edward in the form of mixed tocopherols, vitamin E in the form of mixed tocopherols, I would take about 1,600 IUs. Before you have an X-ray, if you swallow, 1,600 international units of vitamin E a couple of hours before your X-ray, it greatly reduces the net negative effects of radiation on your body. And that research was done by a buddy of mine, a chiropractor, Van Merkel, who has a really great nutritional chiropractic practice outside of Dayton, Ohio. Dr. Merkel has really done a lot to forward the cause of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. And when he was in school, he published this study himself. Vitamin E helps to negate the negative effects of radiation. So if you have to have a chest X-ray, or a DEXA scan, whatever. Swallow some vitamin E like Edward a couple hours before, and life is going to be good. See this? A little bit of information goes a long way, folks. It's just a little bit of stuff goes a long way. I used to be a sailor, right? Grew up on an island off the coast of Massachusetts. Used to do a lot of sailing. And if you change your course just 1 degree, if you change your heading 1 degree, in a couple of hours, you're 50, 60 miles away from where you thought you were going to end up. Just a 1 degree change. So change your diet now. Stop eating the 10 bad foods now. Increase your consumption of the 90 essential nutrients plus a little bit extra, whatever you need, in order to bolster your body where your body is weak. So if you have a blood sugar issue, it's the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack. If you have a joint problem, it's the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. If you have a digestive problem, it's the Healthy Digestion Pack. If you've got a heart problem, it's the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. And if you just need maintenance, if everything's hunky-dory, it's the Healthy Start Pack plus selenium. And this is how we roll, ladies and gentlemen. And this is really the fundamental foundation of health. Stop eating the 10 bad foods. Supply your body with the 90 essential nutrients that it needs every day, and up the ante with your antioxidants, dialing in a minimum of 20,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day. When you do all 3 of those things consistently, you are going to maximize your longevity cycle. You're going to sidestep chronic disease. You're going to be the healthiest person in your neighborhood. And if you join Longevity and help us to spread this message, you're also going to be the wealthiest person in your neighborhood. And that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Check me out on the World Wide Web. I know you want to. It's fireyourmdnow.com. Tell your friends, tell your family members. I'll see you tomorrow. We're creating a revolution. Get on board, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden, over and out.